So now we're doing, we're still in book 6.1b, solving two-step equations, and we're doing some more difficult questions now. Steps to solve them, okay? But first, before we start solving the equations, we have to simplify the equation first. Let's start with question 5. We cut it at the equal sign to make the left side and the right side. And now we have to ask ourselves, if I look at the left side, it has 1, 2, okay, so I have 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4 terms on the left. So can I make the left end before I start to solve the equation? This one is an x and this one is an x, so they are like terms, so I can put these two together. This does not have an x and this does not have an x. And so these are like terms. So let's put these ones together first. So 6 plus 2 equals 8. So this is 8x. And then this one, and this is 8, and I lose 5. I've lost 13. So now I lose 13. And can I put these two together? X, this does not have an x, so they're unlike terms. So I cannot put them together, so I just copy same, like that. So now I've made it more simple to solve the equation. Okay, so if I cut it at the equal sign for the left and the right side, and I want my letters on the left, look at our x's. I have an 8 and a 2. Who has to move? Yeah, I want the 2 to move over to the left side. So this is 2, and I must put this 2 on the x, the term with the x, because it's a like term. So I put it here with the x. 0. Then I have 8 plus 2, which equals 10. So that's 10x minus 13 equals. So if I want my terms with x's on the left, this one does not have an x, so he has to move over. Or you can say, my x wants to, this one's close to it, so it's like a best friend. This one's far, like the neighbor. So if I have to get rid of a best friend or a neighbor, I have to move the neighbor. So this is subtract 13, so I add 13, the opposite. So now I have 10x equals plus 13 equals 20. So that's 20. Now I want to, x wants to be, so then I put same over same. That's 1. So that becomes 1x equals 20. So 1x equals 2. So I can erase the 1. I don't need to have the 1 there. I can just go x equals 2. So the solution is 2. Okay, let's look at question 8. Equal sign to make the left side and the right side. Oh, the right side has 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4. So can I simplify the right side before we start to solve the equation? I can see that this has an x and this has an x, so they are like terms. They can go together. This has an a, this doesn't have an x, this doesn't have an x. So the ones with x's go together because they're like terms, and the terms with no x's go together. So let's do this first. So 6 plus 3 equals 9. So we have 9x. Then I lose 8 and I lose 12. So that means I lose 20. So this and this together, I lose 20. Can these ones go together? No, because this has an x, this does not have an x, so they're not like terms, so I just write them out like that. Now it's more simple. Now I can start solving my equation. So I want my letters on the left, or my variables on the left. So do I move the 3 or the 9? I move the 9 because he needs to move to the left side. So if there's nothing in front of the 9, he's positive. So I have to do the opposite, minus 9x. And I have to put the 9x on the 3x because it has an x, because these are like terms. I can't put it on the 4. So I go minus 9x. 9 minus 9 is 0. So I have 4. 3 minus 9 equals minus 6. So then I put minus 6x equals, well, that's gone because it's 0. Then I lose 20 on that side. So now I want my x to be alone, so I have to get rid of the 6 and the 4. The 6 is close to the x, so it's like a best friend, and the 4 is far, it's the neighbor. I get rid of the neighbor first. This term does not have an x, so we're going to move him to the other side. So that's plus 4, so I have to minus 4. And I have to, left side, right side, I have to put the minus 4 on the right side because I have a minus 4 on the left side. So make sure you go all the way over to the right side to put the minus 4. So 4 minus 4 is 0. And this says I lose 6, so make sure you lose 6. Make sure you take that negative. And this says I lose 20 and I lose 4. So I lose 24. So now x wants to be alone, so I have to get rid of the 6. So divide by 6, divide by 6. Oops, that's wrong. Why is that wrong? It has to be exactly the same. If this is a negative 6, I have to do negative 6. Because it has to be exactly the same. So that's 1. So I have 1x equals, because they're the same, it's going to be positive for divide and multiply. Okay, so now I have 24 divided by negative 6. That equals positive 4. So x equals 4. So the solution is 4. Let's go to the next page. This one has lots of 3's in it, so let's do 9 together. Okay, so we cut it at the equal sign to make a left and a right. Oh, the left side has 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. That's a lot. Maybe we can make this side more simple before we start to solve it. Which ones can go together? Yeah, everything with an x. This can go together. This one's not the same, so this is going to stay by itself. These are like terms. So I have 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9. So that's 9x plus 3. Can I put these together? Nah, because this 3 doesn't have an x, so I have to write it same. These 3 go together to make the 9. So I cut it at the equal sign to make the left and the right. If I want my letters on the left, the variables on the left, do I move the 9 or the 5? I have to move the 5 because he has a variable. He has a letter, so I'm going to move this one over to the other side. So if he is plus 5, I do the opposite, minus 5x. Don't forget to write the x. Now do I write this on the 3 or the 9? I have to write it on the 9 because he has an x. So these are like terms, so I have to write them together. So 5 minus 5 is 0. Then I have 9 minus 5, which equals 4. So this is 4 plus 3. Oops, I forgot my x. Wait, this is 4x plus 3, because that's 4, equals 3. So my x is on the left, that's good. So x wants to be alone, so I have to get rid of the 4 and the 3. The 4 is close to the x, like the best friend, and the 3 is the neighbor. So I have to get rid of the neighbor first, okay? Or you can say this doesn't have an x, so we need to move it to the other side. So we do the opposite, minus 3, minus 3. So now I have 4x equals, 3 minus 3 equals 0. So this is 0. It's okay if it's 0. It might make you feel nervous because, it looks different. Okay, so there's two ways to finish this. Some people just go 4 times what is 0? Well, 4 times 0 is 0, so they can just go x equals 0. They can just go, the only thing that makes this work is 4 times 0 is 0. Or they go, x wants to be alone. I have to get rid of the best friend. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I go 1x equals, what's 0 divided by 4? 0, which is the same as x equals 0. Okay, so you can go from here to here or go step by step. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to do questions 13 and 14. 13 and 14. Now we have brackets. It's getting a little bit more complicated. So what we have to do is put up our BEDMAS rules. So B stands for brackets. We have to do inside our brackets. Okay, here, let's do that first. 2 plus 2 equals 4. So this is 4x. Keep the brackets because look, this 3 is touching the bracket, so it's a multiply. So it's 3 times all of this, so I want to keep it the same. 3 times this. Can I put those together? No, because this doesn't have an x. So I just write it same. Okay, do I have exponents? No. Do I have any divide and multiply? I don't see any, but there is one hiding right here. So then I'm going to do the multiply next. So that's 3 times 4 equals 12. So that's 12x. Same. Oh, now it looks normal again. So all I did was use the BEDMAS rules to simplify it until it looks normal. And now I go, okay, we cut it at the equal sign to make the left and the right. I want my letters on the left, the variables on the left. So do I move the 12 or the 5? Yeah, the 5 needs to go on the other side because he has a variable. So let's move him. He's plus 5, so I do the opposite, minus 5, minus 5. Make sure you write the x, okay? 5 minus 5 is 0. So what's 12 minus 5? That's 7. So that's 7x. Okay, because that's 0, so I only have 35. So x wants to be alone, so I have to get rid of the 7. Divide by 7. That's 1. Same over same as 1. So I have 1x equals 35 divided by 7 equals 5. But I don't have to write the 1. I don't have much room, so I'm just going to erase it. There. So x equals 5. Okay. Now let's do 14. Oh, we've got brackets again. So let's do BEDMAS to help us. So let's do inside the brackets first. Oh, the 1 doesn't have an x. Look, they both had x's. They are like terms, so I can add them. But look, this one doesn't have an x, so I can't do inside the brackets. Done. I can't do that. Do I have an exponent? Exponent would be like 3x squared. No, I don't have any exponents. Do I have any divide multiply? I don't see any. But wait, right here between the 16 and the bracket, there's a multiply. So this means 16 multiplied everything inside the bracket. So I have to distribute the 16. So that really means 16 times x and 16 times negative 1. Well, that's 16x, and that's negative 16. So here, 16 times x is 16x. And this is negative 16. 16 times negative 1, so I lose 16. Oh, now it looks normal. Okay, so I used my BEDMAS rules to make it more simple. So it looks like a normal equation that I could start solving. So we cut it here at the equal sign to make the left and the right. And we want our letters on the left, our variables on the left. So I always start with my variables. So do I move the 16 or the 12? The 12, because we want our variables on the left. So let's move the 12x to the other side. So I'm going to go minus 12x. Ooh, do I put the 12 on this or this term? Well, he has an x, so I have to put it with x. The x-men go together. So 12x. So these are like terms. So 12 minus 12 is 0. And now I have 16 minus 12 equals 4. So this is 4. 4x. I still have this 16, and I still have the 36. This is 0 because 12 minus 12 is 0. Okay. So now my x is on the left, so I have to get rid of the 4 and the 16 because x wants to be alone. So do I get rid of the 4 or the 16 first? The 4 is like the best friend, the 16 is like the neighbor. If you want to get rid of one of them, you're going to get rid of your neighbor first, not your best friend. Okay, the 4 is the best friend because it's close. So let's get rid of this. Or you can think, the 16 doesn't have a variable of x, so he should move to the other side. So this is, I lose 16, so I have to do the opposite. I add 16 to both sides. That's 0. So then I have 4x equals 36 plus 16 equals 52. So that's 52. Okay. Now x wants to be alone, so I have to get rid of the 4, the best friend. So the last step is always doing the same over same. Okay. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So that's really 1x equals, and 52 divided by 4 equals 13. You can use the fraction button and go 52 over 4, and that will also give you 13. It doesn't matter which way you do it in your calculator. But the 1 can hide, so we just write x equals 13. So the solution is 13. Okay. Let's turn the page and do a few more. Let's do number 19. Okay. So let's cut it at the equal sign to make the left side and the right side. Oh, the right side looks messy and it's got a bracket. So let's use the BEDMAS rules to see if we can make it more simple. B, inside the brackets. So let's do inside the brackets. I can't. This doesn't have an x. These are not like terms. So I can't do the brackets. Okay. Done. Exponents? There's no exponents here. It'd have to be like 3x with a squared or something. There's no squares. So exponents done. Divide, multiply. I don't see any. But we don't write multiply in algebra. 6 times all of this. There's really a times there. So it's saying 6 times everything inside the bracket. So we have to distribute the 6 to everything in the bracket. So it's 6 times 1, 6 times negative 2x. So 6 times 1 and 6 times negative 2x. So that's 6. This here, that would be negative 12x. So here we have 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times negative 2x is I lose 12x. And this 4, he's just hanging out by himself. So make sure you copy him down. Can I put these two together? No, because 18 doesn't have an x. They're not like terms. So I just copy it down the same like that. Oh, the right side has 1, 2, 3 terms. So maybe we can make the right side more simple before we start to solve the equation. Yeah, look, this has an x and this has an x. So I can put these two together to make it more simple. So I lose 12 and I get 4. That means I lose 8. So I lose 8x. I still have my 6 here. I have my 18 and my negative 2x. Now it looks kind of normal. Now we can start solving it. So when it looks messy and big and weird, use the BEDMAS rules to make it more simple. And then once it looks like this, then we can start solving it. So if we want our letters on the left, do we move the 2 or the 8? Yeah, this one's already on the correct side. This one has a variable, a letter. So I'm going to move this to the other side. If this is I lose 8, we do the opposite. Plus 8x. And because he has an x, I have to put it with the term with the x. Okay, 8 minus 8 is 0. And here I lose 2, but then I get 8. That's 6. So this is 6x. I lose 18. And I still have a 6 here because this is 0. Okay, so now x is on the left. So x wants to be alone. So do I get rid of the 6 or the 18 first? The 18 because he's far away. Okay, it's like the neighbor. The 6 is the best friend. Keep him to the last. 18 I get rid of first. But I lose 18, so I do the opposite. So I have to go plus 18. Plus 18. So 18 minus 18 is 0. So now I just have 6x equals 6 plus 18 equals 24. So this here is 24. Now I have to get rid of my best friend. So now I have to do the same over same. So x wants to be alone, so I have to get rid of the 6. So I divide by 6. And 6 divided by 6 is 1. That's how we get rid of it. We make it a 1. So that's 1. That's an x. And then 24 divided by 6 equals 4. But we don't have to write the 1. We just go x equals 4. Okay. Let's do one more. Let's do 22. Okay. Okay. So let's cut it at the equal sign to make the left and the right. We have brackets. It's kind of messy looking and big. So let's write out our BEDMAS. So B stands for inside the brackets first. So let's look. Can I do that? T plus 6? No. If it was T plus 6t, then I could do something. But this 6 doesn't have a t, so they're not like terms, so I cannot add and subtract them. So I can't do B brackets, inside the brackets. I don't have an exponent. Do I have divide or multiply? I don't see it, but you have to know that here it's hiding 2 times everything in the bracket. So I have to distribute this 2 to everything inside the brackets. 2 times t, 2 times 6. 2 times t, 2 times 6. That's 2t. And that's a positive 6, so 2 times 6 is 12. So here we have 2 times t is 2t. 2 times positive 6 is 12, a positive 12, so I put plus 12. Then I have this 5 just hanging around. Make sure you copy him down. Can I put these together? Nope, because the 11 does not have a t, so I cannot put them together because they're not like terms. Okay, it looks a little better, but my right side has 1, 2, 3 terms. Can I simplify the right side a little bit before we start to solve it? Yeah, this does not have a t, this does not have a t, so they're like terms, so I can put them together. So 12 minus 5 equals 7, so this is 7. And then I have my 2t. Oh, what do I put here? Well, because he's a positive 7, I just put a plus in between. 11 plus 6t. Now it looks normal. Now I can start to solve it. So cut it at the equal sign to make the left and the right side. We want our letters on the left. So we have a 6t and a 2t. The 6t is on the correct side. So we have to move the 2t over to the left because he has a letter, a variable. So here, there's nothing in front of the 2, so it means he's a positive 2. So I do the opposite, negative 2t. Because he has a t, I have to put him with a t. We have to put the like terms together. So minus 2t. 2 minus 2 is 0. Now I have 6 minus 2, which equals 4. So that's 4t. That's gone because that's 0, so I'm just left with 7. So the t is on the left. So t wants to be alone, so I have to get rid of the 4 and the 11. The 4 is close to the t, so it's like a best friend, and the 11 is far, it's like the neighbor. So if you have to get rid of one of them, get rid of the neighbor, because he's far. So we do opposite. This is plus 11, so we do minus 11, minus 11. So that's 0, because 11 minus 11 is 0. Now I just have my 4t. 7 minus 11 equals minus 4. So I'm left with minus 4. T wants to be alone, so I have to get rid of this. So the last step is always same over same to make that 1. So that's 1. So it's 1t. And this, well, if it didn't have that, that would be 1. But it makes a negative 1. Or you can just do it on your calculator. Or you can do it on your calculator with the fraction button. Okay, so t equals negative 1. Okay, so simplify the equation first on the left side or the right side using BEDMAS. And once you simplify it enough, it starts to look normal. And then you can start to solve it. And remember, the last step is always same over same to make that 1 in front of the variable. And that's how you get the variable by itself at the very end, is you always have to do this as the last step, same over same. Okay?